Hey Taurus, it's Empress Rose here. Welcome to your reading, general reading. Take what works, leave what does not work for you or doesn't make sense for you. Check your other major placements if you want. And we're going to be doing oracle readings over here, and then we're going to go do a more traditional tarot spread over on Vimeo. Join me over there if you want, or if you don't want. Speaking of what you want to do and what you don't want to do, I've been told I'm supposed to tell you to subscribe, but I just really think that that's just you do you, okay? If you want to, fine. If not, okay. And I'll be fine either way, and you'll be fine either way. And so I guess I wanted to say, subscribe if you feel like it. Do not subscribe if you don't want to. Not want to guilt trip anyone into anything. No idea why I feel so compelled to tell you that, but there you go. All right. What do we have here? What has this little murder of crows? This is really cute. Just let me show you. Fear and luck, and you balancing in between these two things. So fear. You're trying to find some balance. Like there's a lot of fear here, though. I like this card because it talks about. It doesn't really talk about fear. It talks about overcoming fear. It talks about the process. I want to say an adjustment process to something, to getting used to something. So this scarecrow is literally built to keep these crows in fear, and it works for most of them, but not for you. You are going to be doing this process where you approach first, possibly just in theory, first just in your mind, first just imaginatively, something that you're afraid of. And then you might take a step towards that, and then you might take another step. But you're really dealing with fear right now, and it's the overcoming of fear. And it's something that maybe you don't even have to be afraid of. Now, fear is very important. You know, Aquarius just got this card, and we talked about this wonderful book called The Gift of Fear. It talks about what fear does bring us. It's a way of our bodies letting us know that we're not safe. Or that there's potential for a lack of safety in a situation, and then allow us to pay attention to that, allow us to prepare for that, but not to live in the fear. The fear isn't, what's that quote, like, fear can come along for the ride, but it's not sitting in the driver's seat. It's going to be sitting in the passenger seat. And it's there to let you know it's not useless. It's not just we need to throw out fear and no one should ever be afraid. No, it's here to let you know there are some things like you know, so there are some. This isn't the farmer though. The farmer is someone that this crow maybe could be scared of, but this isn't the farmer. This is a mock-up of the farmer. This is not the actual thing to be afraid of. This is something that can be. Someone could have done intentionally to keep you in line, to keep you obedient, right? Fear is really good for that. Keeping people obedient, telling them that the worst is going to happen. This little thing's going to shoot you if you don't do what it tells you to do, or if you don't do what you know, if you don't stay away from this situation. So there could be someone that's trying to keep you away from something, by keeping you afraid, but in fact this thing is not a problem. So this is about the process of kind of dealing with fear and overcoming fear, not throwing it out the window and pretending that you don't, because then you're afraid of fear as well, right? So that's not going to work, just to pretend you don't see it. So you need to actually be courageous when dealing with fear itself and with what you're afraid of. So this is a very courageous crow. So you're being asked to develop some courage, and it's not about, it doesn't have to be like rash. You can totally think through the fears and take a very, move towards what you want, in a step by step. You don't have to just go like, oh, just forget it, I'm going to jump on this thing. That might be a bit much for some of you. So there's a sense of like taking these little steps and getting close, and then the breeze twists it and you go back, scurrying back. It's okay. It's just, there's just going to be a little bit of push and pull as you sort of explore this fear and what you're afraid of. So I think that that's basically what we're trying to get at here, is exploring the fear. So, and then balance, right? So not forcing courage, but also not cowering in fear, and finding some sort of balance between those things, and getting some sort of middle ground. I think that's interesting. They're both perched, right? These ones are perched on a wire, so there could be something online that's creating fear, or this might have something to do with something like that. But I feel like this is both like, they're both like perched in a bit of a precarious place, and they're trying to balance fear and courage, and trying to get some sort of equilibrium, trying to find their inner equilibrium. You're trying to find your inner equilibrium in this situation that does have you experiencing some fear. And then there's luck. Like, I like it. It might be very unexpected. It might be unexpected at a certain point, and then it might be expected at a point. And so there's something, luck can come in here. Yeah, just a lucky moment. It comes to you. You're not doing anything. I mean, luck is not necessarily, well, sometimes luck can be about something we worked for and something we earned, and the luck can come in there because we're not often getting what we think we deserved through our work and effort. We're sometimes just not getting rewarded as much as possible. So it can feel like luck when it's actually just a reward for work. This feels like just a lucky break here. And maybe that lucky break has you, like, it could be so strange or so unusual that it might trigger some fears. Interesting. Okay, we have testing the waters, trying to dreaming about some sort of future and just putting out some sort of feeler. What would it be like to communicate this? What would it be like to do this? In a bit of a dream world, maybe this is part of the courage that you're experiencing here, right? Why isn't she just jumping into the dream world? Why isn't she just saying everything? She's testing it out bit by bit. And that's a lot of how this crow overcomes their fear. It's by testing it out bit by bit. By first, right, we were talking about visualizing something first, visualizing the process of approaching this scarecrow, visualizing that whole process first. And that's definitely what she's doing. And then she's starting to make some attempts towards something. There are these attempts being made, or a little bit of just dipping your toe in the water of something that maybe is a little bit big and scary for you, but this is like an initial first step. So the initial first step is really having that fantasy of what it would be like to overcome your fear. And then the second step is like, what's your first step? And you're not being asked to just throw caution to the wind. I'm not getting that here at all. You're being asked to take a baby step, little baby steps towards something. Little baby steps of courage towards something that has had you afraid. I mean, there's so many quotes about fear because it's such a universal and limiting force. So I think it was Eleanor Roosevelt, like, you must do the thing that you fear. Yeah, something like that. But going towards something that fear has kept you away from it, has kept you at a distance. And now we're hopping little hops forward in courage. We're a little bunny hopping forward. Little hops in courage, not great leaps and bounds. Morning dew girl, learning from the past. There's some sort of grief and sadness and ending that has occurred, but we are learning from that. We're alchemizing that. So this, whatever happened in the past may be exactly what keeps you in fear. You may have encountered the very real Mr. McGregor over here, And that's part of why you're afraid of his little mock-up, his scarecrow that he's got here, because you're like, oh no, I've done business with Mr. McGregor. He was wearing that shirt and that hat, and I am not interested. So, but there is something from the past here. The heart's still back there. I mean, sometimes we have this little heart chakra bird. Again, we have this little bird right here. The heart's still a little bit dealing with some stuff here. The heart's dealing with some stuff. There is an ending. But we're taking this grief, we're taking this sadness, and we're alchemizing it into power and growth. We're alchemizing it into growth. So there's so much growth here from whatever's happened in the past, whatever still kind of has your heart tangled up in it. There's a lot of growth there, and you're going to use that for this journey forward. So there's growth back there. You're growing from your pain and suffering. You're growing through it. All right, and then my new deck, and the name I forgot, but I'm kind of crazy about it. It's beautiful. I love it so much. And I've connected with it. I've bought a few decks recently, and they just no connection. I feel nothing for them. This one has some connection, so I'm almost more excited about that than anything. Otter, positivity, imagination, which we've talked about multiple times here, imagining moving forward. And playfulness. I like the playfulness, because I feel like part of this courage can be playful. It doesn't have to be like this, at some points it might feel like a lamb to the slaughter, one step at a time, but this is more like you can be a little bit playful, hopping, a little hop towards what you want. And then the prayer here is gentle and carefree nature spirit, teach me how to enjoy the simple things in life. So, cute little water spirit. Very cute, but playful, imagination, and positivity. So I think, yeah, this overcoming of this courage can all be done in this really positive way. Oh, right, that's what you want. Okay, that was unusual, but I will take it. Oh, I love this one. I mean, I hate this one, but I love this one. The ever unfolding rose, cracked open, it's happening for you, not to you. Ever unfolding rose, safety in difficulty, keep your heart open. That may be the most courageous thing we can do as life, as we're buffeted by these experiences that create grief and sorrow and hardship for us. It's keeping your heart open throughout all of that, still being receptive, still being open. That's possibly some of the greatest courage we can have. But this is an assurance that even though this process is difficult, even though you're feeling very afraid, you are safe in that. And the ever unfolding rose is very much like, it's happening for you, not to you. So that's an important, even with this grief and the sadness right here, it's happening for you. There's going to be growth, right? She's harvesting the grief and sadness. She's harvesting those tears to water another part of her life, water another part of her garden. She's using that. So it's happening for you, not to you. So that's often a very good way to approach any sort of difficult circumstance that is here to create growth for us, is here to actually be a catalyst for our own growth. So we want to recognize that these things aren't happening to us. And that's where the optimism, positivity, it's happening for you. You're growing from this. You're growing from this, right? And it can be painful to feel this cracked open, to feel this stretching, to feel that heart, keeping the heart open, even though everything seems to be too dangerous and we want to close it up. And there's a message of also everything is going to be okay. But there are those like heart chakra, I mean, we've already got the heart chakra here, heart chakra opening exercises, even some yoga poses might be helpful for you to open the chest up. It can feel very vulnerable, oftentimes with those heart opening, chest opening poses, people, it's not so much physically uncomfortable as it is like sort of energetically and emotionally uncomfortable to feel that vulnerable, to have your heart so exposed. And we want to, be in here, and yoga poses and all of that are asking us to stretch open to make that heart a little more vulnerable. So that's what she's doing here. She's got that heart open, vulnerable. Yes, this is painful, and yes, I'm not shutting down. And then surrender to the divine. And this is what we have here too, this unfolding rose, this pose of surrender. Surrender to the divine. What's happening is happening. And the more you resist it, the more you fight it. The more you're afraid, the more you close down in fear, the harder it's all going to be. So this is surrender to the divine, is go with the flow. It's happening. It's going to happen. Go with the flow. Try to not shut down in fear and be courageous as you go through whatever this is. Yes, it's going to be hard. Yes, it's going to be painful. You can do it, and you don't have to do it all at once. You don't have to force your courage. You can allow your courage to unfold, like this rose. You can allow it to unfold, to bloom one petal at a time, courageously opening up and maintaining that openness. So if that made sense to you, Taurus, join me over on Vimeo, or if you want to see the rest of the story, join me over there. If not, then I'll just see you when I see you. Actually, I'll never see you. You'll see me when you see me. We'll connect again.